Talented young director Sam Raimi has recreated the classic monster movie hero in Universal Pictures' new action-adventure, DARKMAN.
I like heroes who do something that they didn't believe they were capable of, but perform the task nevertheless because it's the right thing to do, or they believe in that thing enough to risk something.
DARKMAN is the story of an innocent scientist caught in the middle of a criminal war. His life destroyed, he is transformed into a menacing angel of justice.
DARKMAN is presented in such a way as to be as dramatic and smashing as possible, similar to the presentation of comic books.
Though cast in a comic book mold, the young writer-director has invented an entirely new character that reflects a more modern, more dangerous world.
My brother Ivan and myself were comic book readers when we were younger, so I'm sure that had a big influence on the DARKMAN.
Though not yet a household name, Sam Raimi has a fanatically loyal following from his earlier independent films like Evil Dead 2.
The biggest difference between DARKMAN and the previous pictures I've made is the budget. On the DARKMAN, I have more money to do more things, versus the earlier pictures where myself and Robert Tappert and Bruce Campbell, our third partner, would do everything. And now that a professional's doing it, and he's probably doing it better than I could have ever done any of those functions, but he's not doing it exactly the way that I would have done it. So you lose a little bit more control, and you gain professionals at all the jobs you used to do. So it's a weird type of trade-off.
Raimi's trademark has been his wildly imaginative use of the camera.
He is so inventive with the camera. He makes the camera do extraordinary things.
I try and make it as clear as possible. I try and tell the story the best I can with the camera. And I then try and make it as dramatic as possible.
I'd never seen a script that had so many visual specifics in it.
I think Sam's really good at that. I think he's really good at taking audiences on a roller coaster ride.
I love every process. I love the writing, the pre-production, the shooting, the editing, the choosing of sound effects, the Foley, and the mix. It's a big crapshoot. You never know. You put every minute you have into it, every hour, then you hope that the audience will like it.
Rugged Irish actor Liam Neeson stars in the title role of DARKMAN.
It's a great story. It's a great yarn.
The story revolves around an innocent young scientist caught in the middle of a criminal war. His life destroyed, he is transformed into a dark, menacing avenger of evil.
I mean, we all have a dark side. Some of us show it more than others, others don't. But I think if we're alone in our car or in the bathroom or in the shower, you know, we fantasize about, you know, God, I should have told the boss that. I should have told him he's a real. And you do in your mind, your own persona becomes this devilish fiend, you know?
What am I, some kind of a circus freak?
The DARKMAN's transformation required Liam to endure the application of layers of prosthetic makeup and bandages.
The thing that I had to do as the actor was, once I have this 5 hours of prosthetic makeup on, not to think of it as 5 hours of prosthetic makeup, that this is now my skin. I really like the challenge of being covered with wrappings and bandages that hide, you know, 95% of my face, and being able to portray human emotions through that.
The role also required Liam to perform punishing action stunts.
I enjoy the physicality of the film and the action very, very much. And there's 4 or 5 guys beat me up, put me on acid, and blow me up, and kick me and throw me into plate glass windows, and all that kind of stuff. I think in every actor and every actress, there's a little boy, little girl, who wants to climb up in their treehouse and play cowboys and Indians. It really is exciting. It's very different to what I've done before. And it was also a chance to play a huge, big, fat lead in a huge, big, fat film. And I felt eager and ready for that.
Academy Award nominee Frances McDormand stars in Universal Pictures' new action-adventure, DARKMAN.
You can say it's a genre action movie, but then there's also a really strong love story involved, so you can't really call it just an action movie.
Jules,
I'm asking you to marry me.
Frances plays the role of Julie Hastings, a lawyer whose underworld connections lead her innocent fiancé into the path of destruction.
On one hand, she's a new phenomena in movies these days. She is a 80s woman that has a high-profile job, real estate lawyer, who's very good at her job, very shrewd, very calculating, very intelligent. But in the story of the movie, she also is the dame. She's the damsel in distress. That has been really interesting for me as an actor, because I have to make sure that when she does end up in the classic situations of the girl in the movie, of being saved and kidnapped and supporting the man in the movie, that she also brings a certain amount of wit and intelligence to that.
If you're not going to kill me, I have things to do.
I chose Fran for the role of the Darkman because she's very good. She's the dream actress. That's what you want.
Sam Raimi's not the only one to appreciate Fran's talent. She was nominated Best Supporting Actress by the Academy for her role in Mississippi Burning.
What interested me about playing the character of Julie in Darkman was that up until this point in movies, I've mostly played southern rural women with less than a high school education. And I kind of wanted to play an educated businesswoman from the North, and just personally to show people in the industry that I could do that.
Larry Drake stars in Universal Pictures' action-adventure Darkman.
Darkman is an action-adventure, comic book, gothic horror kind of thing.
Drake plays the role of Darkman's arch-nemesis.
Action!
I play Robert G. Durant, professional bad guy. He encounters scientist Peyton Westlake in the course of his duties, and kind of causes the change in the middle of the script of Peyton Westlake to Darkman.
Larry Drake was cast because he has a very imposing physical presence. He's like the modern-day Edward G. Robinson. He just has a very interesting face.
Most people recognize Larry Drake from his popular role as Benny on television's L.A. Law.
It's a nice contrast to what I usually do on L.A. Law. Benny is like the world's nicest guy, and Robert G. Durant is like the world's worst guy.
He's a cockroach.
I'm not in this to play Benny the rest of my life. I'm in this to do as many interesting roles as I can get, and Benny is one, and I think this is one. If nothing else, I read the script on this, and I knew this role. This is a memorable screen villain, and it's lovely to get the chance to play that. It's fun.
You will provide the revenues owed to us by the time I finish this cigar.
Larry Drake not only plays the role of Robert G. Durant, he also plays Darkman impersonating Robert G. Durant.
The fact that at some points I play Darkman playing me is part of what this picture is about. Durant's tough enough. I mean, Durant is not me, so that's tough enough, hitting your marks and getting it right and getting the right attitude going and the specifics. But I now not only have to act enough of Durant for Darkman to convince my friends I'm him. He has to be a good enough actor. I also have to be wearing Darkman inside.
Shoot him! Shoot him!
Which one is Durant?
Not me, him!
But I just can't do too many nice guys and too many really bad guys. Eventually I'm going to have to do something in the normal range, I think.